Hi, my name is Stuart Trusty, and I want to talk to you a little bit about turning the Pixel 9's Debian developer option embedded Linux system into something useful, because you enable that in your developer options, and then you run it, and you get a little terminal, and that's cute and all, but there's not much you can do with it out of the box. The Android operating system is completely unaware of it. You can't share files. You can't do anything basically. So they did a great thing. Google did a great thing by putting that Debian 12 in there, but they haven't been very helpful about what to do from there. So we're just going to go through a few things, and I'm going to tell you what we're going to do first. What we've done is we've installed OpenVPN on here, so you can have turn this into having a somewhat routable IP, accessing by other devices on your network. The second thing is we're going to set up NFS both as a server, so that the Debian session is operating as a server, and we're going to set it up so it's using NFS common. It can mount other devices on your network for NFS. So all of a sudden, this becomes an integral part of storage, both for sharing itself and for logging onto other devices. And we're also going to bridge the Android file system into the Debian 9 system, and we'll see how that works. And then instead of using your, Samsung, whatever it is, to get this pseudo desktop operating system, which is just really your Android screen, we're going to set up a full-blown desktop window manager and X stack here on the Android and access it externally. So here's our little terminal session here, and I'm letting you know, so we have, basically OpenVPNs installed here, and it's got its own private IP. Now we could put it on part of this, on part of the main network, but probably not best for letting people get into your files potentially. So we're not going to look at that. What we are going to look into is we have a little directory here called shared, and you'll notice there's a command here starting SMB test.txt. The first thing I'm going to show you is how we get that test.txt visible from the Debian system on here into the Android, because this Android doesn't know the first thing about the Debian 9 session. It's completely oblivious. But by setting up an SMB mount on here, you can do something like with Solid Explorer, and here it is right here. Test.txt is available on the Pixel 9. It's on the same device, but this is your only way in right now, and it's a good way in. You can put APKs there, you can do whatever you want. So aside from that, if you look on my Linux box here, if I grep for Android in my FS tab, or see, here's my mount here, and you'll notice that I'm mounting that NF share here straight away, so I can talk with my Linux box straight into the Debian session here. Contra-wise, the Android itself, if I go into my, I can learn how to type. If I go into my mount directory here, I have a number of NFS mounts that I've picked up here, and these are the mounts. And you can see all the files exposed. So right now the device is communicating. It's broadcasting itself. It's being mounted. It's mounting others, and so we got full file interchangeability inside the Debian 9 system. And lastly, what I want to show you is that if as we SSH into this thing, 10.8.0.6. So here's our terminal session here in our Debian 9. You can see NFS running, OpenVPN's running, X is running, which is I'm going to show you. I put ICE Window Manager in here, and then X11 VNC, so we can do a little magic trick like this, which is we go over here. Let's just view this thing. All you do is you run VNC Viewer to your IP on 5900. I'm lazy, so I made a script. So what that does is all of a sudden we're in the middle of our Android running X with a window manager, which is not just your Android, system made up to look like it's a desktop. This is actually a full-blown desktop. So, if we want, we can go and run a browser here, and all of a sudden, bang, it's up. And you'll notice it's running very fast. I don't really like this guy, but we can look at the rest of CNN. But it's just all coming down clean. So let's just recap where we're at here. We installed OpenVPN. We installed NFS Common to mount other external volumes. We set up an NFS server with exports in order to be able to mount from other devices. We set up an SMB server on the Debian session where we can mount it using SMB on the Android operating system itself. So we can share data between the Android operating system and Debian. And then we went in and we installed X, and we have, what's it called again? We have, I also use XFCE terminal in there. It's not very good at cut and paste unless you use that one. But we're using X11 VNC, and that's the command here. And by using Tiger VNC, the VNC viewer here, you just do it and it all works. So you should be able to do all that in about 15 minutes if you're lucky, a couple hours if you're not. And thanks for watching. I hope you have a good time with the Pixel 9 and above of its developer options, embedded Debian 12 operating system, and now you can actually use it to do something. Thank you.